What should I do? I ended the world. If I embrace that sin, I cannot save Yona from suffering. If I reject that sin, I can rescue her from misfortune, but at the cost of all future generations and their stories. So it stands. My answer is... I will accept the sin. I spoke this quietly. Why? The boy, the Shadow Lord, answered me in an equally quiet voice. He was me, and I was him. We were mirror images of each other, and we shared one wish. My choice to end the world was perhaps a mistake, but I was sure of one thing. Yona wouldn't have wanted it to go away. Wanted what to not go away? The Shadow Lord sneered. I thought back on my many memories of different worlds, the connections I made, in the scenes of the inspiring people that flowed from the antennas. The hopes of the generations to come, their light, Yona believes in them. My choice may have been misguided, but now I understood. There was light, and the light has not extinguished. That was why when Yona watched the people's memories, she smiled. The Shadow Lord considered me. He seemed convinced he could change my mind. I held his gaze back, firm in my stance. I thought you would say that. The conviction drained from the Shadow Lord's eyes. In his voice was defeat. He seemed to think this was always going to be the outcome. If it is Yona's wish, we can only obey. I felt I had to go soon. I extended my hand to the defeated Shadow Lord. Let's go together. I did not know the way, but I knew I had to arrive somewhere. All we had to do was enter the darkness without doubt, the endless darkness. Nothing could be there, and yet I knew there was a path I must follow. In the darkness ahead of me, I heard a voice from the past. Get the back here, you moron. The Shadow Lord and I turned to each other. This was the path to follow. We were being called by a filthy mouth. I remembered who they were. My dear friend. Let's hurry. I whispered it, and the Shadow Lord smiled and nodded. We began to walk. Beyond the darkness, a world with our friends waited. A world that was irreplaceable. Undecided option. Ending. Nier replicant. Back to the world. In that place called the Forest of Myth, without warning, a tree-filled valley shook. The earth roared and rumbled. Ancient trees creaked and toppled, and birds scattered in shock. The earth opened, and from it appeared a great white structure that pierced the sky. It was a colossal white tower. No, it was a great flower bud. The forested land returned to silence, and the bud began to open. The delicate movement was just like what had repeated in nature for ages. The white bloom slowly opened like a sparkling morning mist. It looked as if it were accepting the grace of the sun, or answering the invitation of the heavens. A great flower in the wilderness. On a pistil rising from the flower, a boy sat. That boy, Nier, was held from behind by a girl. The boy slowly opened his eyes. He understood someone held him. It was the one he fought alongside, the twin blade wielder, Kaine. Her voice guided him here. Let's go home. It was her familiar voice, low and soothing. Nothing had changed in the old village. It was as poor and tranquil as ever. The villagers lived their peaceful and earnest lives. Just like any other day, the old water wheel turned in the little river that ran through the village. Within the stone buildings of the market, shopkeepers and their customers were busy with business. Children ran carefree around the fountain in the village square. Nestled halfway up a hill sat an old stone cottage. This was Nier's home. Colorful moonflowers filled the garden, but something about it was different from before. It might have been in the care shown, but the entire garden of moonflowers was in full bloom. Red, yellow, blue, orange, pink, even white lunar tears. Around the flowers danced a troop of butterflies. Giving water to the attention-seeking moonflowers was a girl. She hummed as she doted on the flowers, showering love as much as water. The sunlight shone blindingly off of the girl's long white hair and the falling water. She looked like some merciful saint. The boy wished to watch this beautiful, picturesque scene forever, and he hesitated to speak up. As if sensing she was being watched, the girl, still watering, turned her head. "Oni-chan?" Her eyes widened and her body froze. The watering jug had run empty, but she still held it down to pour. Her face looked like, after forgetting something dear to her, she had remembered it in an instant. The girl flung aside the watering jug and ran towards Nier. "Oni-chan!" The shocked butterflies scattered at the girl running, leaving the garden. Nier caught Yona in his arms. "Oni-chan! Is it really Oni-chan?" Nier couldn't say anything, but he felt the warmth of his sister. Yona was much bigger than he remembered. Despite himself, his heart raced. How many days and months had they been apart? "Oni-chan, how did you come back?" Kaine called for me, and then... He wasn't able to speak further, but the fire in his heart was unmistakable. The things he tried to remember, those who helped him remember. The butterflies returned to the garden to dance again, as if nothing had happened. "We must celebrate, and we already have 2 guests." How exactly Nier returned to Yona did not seem to bother her much. Yona let go of Nier's arm and smiled somewhere behind him. "Let's eat." Getting this back was a pain. "Wow, it's really a party. I'm so happy." Kaine and Emil, his friends who guided him back here. When he opened his eyes, he had come here with them. They were his old companions in the fight. "Okay, leave it to me. I'll get something ready." She went into the kitchen, then came back out, then went back in. Wait, hang on, there's no need." To calm her, Nier spoke up. He suddenly remembered his sister's cooking. This dish and that dish sprang up in his memory. Yona turned around to face Nier, placing her hands on her hips and giving him a teasing look. "Come on, I'm not the same Yona. These 3 years I've been practicing." 3 years. That was the amount of time that passed after defeating the Shadow Lord and returning to this world. "Excuse me, I can help out." As if crossing those blank months and years, Emil entered the cottage with Yona. Through the door left open, their lively voices came through. They must have become good friends during that time. Later, Nier would ask Yona about these 3 years. Also, they would have time to talk about what was next. There was plenty of time for that. A hand slapped him on the shoulder. It was Kaine. "You came back." Nier nodded silently. Nier and Kaine entered the cottage together. Yona stood smiling among his dear friends, Emil and Kaine. He was so happy, it was like a dream. But Nier understood what the days ahead held in store. Hardships, trials, and finally, the world's end. Welcome back, Oni-chan. With eyes aglow, Yona waved from the back of the room. Looking at Yona, looking at the light, Nier thought, there is no world without suffering, but to be around the ones I treasure most, I wish to go on. Yona, I'm home.